Hi, Statesman Nation. Welcome to another edition of Office Hours. As today's guest is Breanne Garrett, a professor in the math department here at William Penn. Breanne, I appreciate you joining me for a few minutes. We're going to give you all sorts of opportunities to talk about yourself and talk about the classes you teach and your background and the great math department we have here at WPU. So let's, I guess, begin with talking about the classes that you teach and again, your background and everything.
All right. So I teach in the Applied Technology division. I am a mathematics professor, so the classes that I teach are math or math education based. So I teach numeric reasoning, I teach history of mathematics, everything in between, including math for elementary teachers. I also teach the secondary math methods class for those who are going to become high school teachers, and usually I do their student teaching supervision.
Okay, great. What about your background? Before you were here at William Penn, I'm sure you're doing something else. So
Yep.
where would you graduate from, all of that, and what have you been doing prior to your time here at William Penn?
Okay, so I live in Ottumwa now with my husband and son, and that's where I grew up. And then I attended Central College in Pella, Iowa, and got my master's degree from the University of Iowa. I obtained my master's degree while I was teaching high school, so I've taught high school mathematics for about 5 years before I came here to Penn, and I believe I started at Penn in 2011.
Gotcha. I shouldn't say lifelong desire, but I'm assuming for a long time you decided you probably wanted to be a professor, get into the higher education realm.
Yeah, I really enjoyed teaching high school. And so part of the reason I pursued the master's degree was so that I could teach dual credit classes at the high school. But then as I was working on that, I sort of took an interest in teaching higher ed, and then this opportunity came up.
There you go. Very cool. Obviously, a lot of different jobs that can be, obtained, careers that can be started through having a math degree. You obviously already talked about a few, being a teacher, et cetera. But what other, degrees can people get from, the classes that you'd be able to teach, the division, and especially applied technology?
Sure. So applied technology sort of has three tracks. There are mathematics degrees, and there are a few different types of them. Same thing with a few types of computer science degrees and a few types of industrial technology degrees. And then we also have a program where students can work at Penn, taking courses for 3 years, and then move up to the Iowa State University and complete an engineering degree.
Right. So obviously engineering, teaching, you can work at NASA, I'm sure, if you know numbers. So
right.
What other things, other careers could they have?
Oh, sure. So, I mean, in our division, students can end up with a variety of different careers. Problem solving is a big deal. I mean, if you think about right now in this coronavirus situation, there are businesses having to adapt right away, and having problem solving skills is something that they're going to look for in their employees to try to decide, how do we adapt quickly, and how can our employees take control or show ideas. So our students do IT work. They work in businesses, even in math degrees. They'll work with data for businesses and try to use that data wisely. And teaching industrial technology and mathematics both. The teaching is high demand. Our students are almost always employed way before they graduate.
When you were talking about the data thing, I immediately was thinking that someone could probably also work in marketing. That realm, to maybe not, they wouldn't know the marketing side of things, but they would be able to use that data and help. This is where you should be, pouring your money, etc.
Yeah, especially if they have some computer programming skills behind them as well, or even some web programming skills. That's definitely, a high interest area.
Very cool. Brag up your division a little bit. I mean, you've talked about the different careers, but success stories of recent graduates. What can what have some of the recent grads been up to? If you can pinpoint some there.
It kind of varies. So, I mentioned we do have a student working with data right now. A lot of our mathematics students end up becoming teachers. And like I said, they're employed usually 4 to 6 weeks before the end of the semester. Yeah, I mean, our IT students, sometimes they end up coming back and working at Penn
Yeah,
even, doing
notice
their
that.
IT work or in our marketing department.
Yep,
And yeah, they're just kind of all over the place.
for sure. Let's talk directly to the incoming students or people that are looking, or prospective students looking at William Penn. Give them some advice on preparing for college. What do they need to do to be better better ready for their 4 years, and then when they get here, some more advice on how to be successful once they're in their 4 years, getting ready for then the rest of their life and their career.
Sure. So I've been working a lot with freshmen lately, working in a summer project even.
Hmm.
And some of the best advice that I've heard from these freshmen is things like being able to get organized early.
Right.
So the summer before you start college, get yourself into daily routines, making sure that you know how to do your own laundry and all of
Yeah.
those sort of things to take care of yourself, right? And I think taking care of yourself also means mentally, physically. Are you able to prepare some quick meals,
Mhm.
that you might be able to do in your dorm room, things like that. Are you going to try to have some sort of workout schedule beyond what maybe your sport may require? All of those things, and just making sure that you are sort of prepared
Right.
for college, and this idea that you will be a little bit on your own
Hmm.
because you might not have your family there every day supporting you.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, and then the things that the freshmen have sort of communicated to us was that that self-discipline when they get here to take care of their schoolwork.
Right.
Um, at first, it seems like there's a lot more free time on college campuses than when they were taking high school classes, because they aren't in class for 6 hours like they are in high school.
Yep.
And that is something that students think, oh, I have all this extra time, but then realize later that maybe they needed to be doing school work during that time. So some of that advice was just, find that self-discipline to take care of your schoolwork early,
Yep.
and then not be afraid to ask for help. That's been a big one that students have mentioned a lot, that those who aren't afraid to reach out, especially to their professors for extra help, are the ones that tend to be the most successful.
Yep, definitely. Um, Last but not least, you've been on campus for closing up on a decade, I guess. So
Yeah.
obviously enjoying your time here. Why do you love William Penn?
Well, I think what I just talked about is why I really like Penn. We have a cool group of students. We have a great group of staff and faculty on campus. I mean, everybody, they're so friendly. We're also helpful, I think. The people who work for Penn really do want to make an impact in our students' lives. And I think as long as our students, are communicating to us, we do a great job, I believe. And that's what I like. I like the small atmosphere of Penn, because when the graduates do get to walk across the stage, I usually know almost all of them. And
Sure.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you, Breanne. Really appreciate your time, giving us a little more insight on the math department. Once again, Breanne Garrett, professor in the math department as part of the applied technology division. So thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yeah, thank you.